Wednesday edition. Humpin' it with Mello, D83, and the Maestro.
Hello and welcome everyone. The week is almost over. You're halfway there. It's Wednesday, hump day, and you're now humping it with Mello, D83, and the Maestro. Please get your mind out the gutter.
Dang. I'm a little offended by that, man. Got these people out here like they got nasty thoughts in their head because of our podcast or something.
Well, I mean, it's almost like when GoDaddy.com first came out.
Right.
I thought it was something else. Just gonna leave it at that.
Listen, you and every other dude your age at that time. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I know I was guilty, but that's okay. We live and learn. So what's good with y'all? How y'all feeling?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. Listen, first off, let me thank y'all for tuning in once again. This is Humpin' It, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all. Listen, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody to come hang out with us every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, yes, let's get into it. All right? Mello, what you got going on for this weekend?
So this weekend, my husband and I will be going to Richmond Ford to celebrate Mustang's 60th birthday.
Yes,
It's actually April 17th, but of course, the weekend before. They're having just like a little celebration. Mustang clubs coming through. And, just going to enjoy the day of, the continuous run of America's favorite muscle car.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I know people going to be hating on that, but listen, I'm with it. I got a Mustang. It's nothing special, but it's a Mustang. I like it. D83, what's good with you, man?
Nothing much, man. It's been a pretty hectic, crazy week. The weekend was good. Hung out with my kids. We went to go see the new Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
That
Yes
was
or no?
awesome.
Oh, was okay. I don't want a whole lot of detail, but
Yeah, well, you know me. I'm just a big kid anyway, so I was thrilled.
oh yeah, I'm gonna take.
I was
my
more
kids to go
excited
see
than I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go see this, okay? That's what we're gonna do."
it. The pretty kids were like, Dad.
No,
Hey,
they were excited. It was awesome.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Definitely recommend it.
Awesome.
Good.
That's what's good. Well, I'm definitely gonna take my kids to see it because I grew up on Mario back on the Atari days. Listen, y'all ain't know that it was on Atari before it was on Nintendo. Stop playing with me.
That's right.
I know I'm old. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. All right, let's get into it.
Here comes the starting 5'5" water boy. D83 with the 3 and out segment.
D83, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to start this off with saying thanks to the NBA for allowing me to lose a lot of sleep. I stayed up late last night due to the beginning of the play-in tournament. So the play-in tournament started during the 2020 season in the bubble, which was when COVID first started. So they had the bubble, where they all played in one area. Then they adapted the play-in tournament for the 2021 season and still continuing it now. I'm a big fan of it. I know some people aren't. So what takes place is the lower seeds, 7th, 8th, then 9th and 10th, they'll play each other. And then, one of the teams will win, and then they'll make it into the actual playoffs.
Interesting.
Right. So, it's more revenue, is pretty much what it really,
Right.
boils down to for the NBA. It's an extra 2 nights of basketball.
I like it.
So, and I like it because it's win or go home. There's
Right.
no best out of 7. It's
Exactly.
you
get
can't
one shot.
can't beat me. Right. You can't beat me. Try again.
I'm down.
See you next year.
Yep.
So
Yeah, for sure.
So last night you had the Hawks versus the Heat. The Hawks easily won. It was 116 to 105. I mean, they were just manhandling the Miami Heat. And I like it because it would get close and then it would they would just pull away. They would get close, and they just pull away.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
now the Timberwolves and the Lakers game went into overtime. The Lakers won 108 to 102.
Mm.
Again, it went to overtime. Pathetic. Pathetic. I'm a very big LeBron fan. I want to see them do good. But if they couldn't even beat a handicapped Timberwolves team, they're not going to go too far.
Mm.
So the Timberwolves were missing 3 of their starters.
Right. Right.
That would be
Mm.
Rudy Gobert. He got into an altercation with his own teammate, Kyle Anderson. So those 2 got suspended. And then Jaden McDaniels, he got heated. He was part of it. And then he ended up walking through the tunnel and then punched a wall and fractured his hand. So 3 players out, 3 starters, and they still had to go into overtime.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Pathetic.
Man,
Absolutely.
You were holding no punches, man.
Look, they gotta play the Grizzlies Sunday.
Right.
That
You don't.
I don't see them making it past. The Grizzlies play too fast. They're much younger.
Right.
They're going to be just one and done. It's going to be sad, but it is what it is.
Right. Everybody back on the Lakers team though.
Yeah, everybody's back on the Lakers team, and get injured every day. Anthony Davis is still playing, which is
Dang.
which is awesome. And LeBron is LeBron.
Right.
Say what you want, but at
Hey.
38, that man is still incredible.
Exactly. Listen, he's definitely solidified. So, even if he gets another championship or not, listen, we already know what time it is for Braun. So,
Right.
Yes.
no
Oh,
question.
absolutely.
No question.
Absolutely. So then the play-in tournament continues tonight with the Bulls versus the Raptors. It's 47-55 right now. Toronto is manhandling Chicago.
Mm.
Poor Bulls. They need to go ahead and see if they can't get Jordan out of retirement.
Oh, my stuff. God, dog. Well, all right, man.
And then later on tonight at 9:30, you got the Thunder and the Pelicans. That should be good, though. I think the Pelicans are going to run away with it. They're young. They made all those trades with the Lakers a few years ago to get all these players, and should be good. But the series that I'm most looking forward to for the actual playoffs would be the Warriors against the Kings, and then the Suns versus the Clippers. Obviously, the Suns versus the Clippers due to Kevin Durant. Chris Paul, and can't remember the other player's name for some reason, but it's going to be very good. I think they're going to win the whole series. They're going to go to the finals, but I could be wrong. The Suns and the Kings, I'm excited about that because I'm rooting for the Kings because they haven't been in the playoffs since 2001 with the team that went 61-21. They lost to the Lakers in the conference finals 3-4. Of course, the Lakers had, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
Oh,
right.
the Suns player that I couldn't think of just popped in. Devin Booker. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Hey,
but
it happens, man. You're old.
So that Kings. Oh.
Dang, slipped up. My bad. My bad. My bad.
Okay. Anyways, so the Kings team. Dang, he said, I sound like I'm talking to my kids. My son reminds me of that all the time. You old, right?
Hey, listen.
You old.
They always do it. Kids are famous for that, man.
Heartbreakers. So you got the Kings. So that team was incredible. You had Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, and Jason Williams. Jason Williams, white chocolate himself. Team was nasty.
Yeah, no question.
Team was nasty.
No question.
So NFL, 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks until the draft. 2 weeks and counting. I'm so excited. So excited.
Man.
Thursday night. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This past weekend, also I watched UFC 287. You had Alex Pereira versus Israel Asanya.
Oh man, hey, listen. Oh my.
Did you see the knockout?
Oh my stars.
Second round.
That's why I love the UFC, bro. Over any other actual fighting sport, UFC takes it, man. That was amazing. You knew because Israel had gotten beat by by him at least twice, I think. if
Twice,
I'm not
correct.
mistaken.
Once in the UFC, and then prior to that, it was in the smaller league,
Yeah,
whatever it was,
exactly.
like
And
the amateur.
right. So, and it looked like it was going that way again. It definitely looked
It,
like it
it,
was going that way again.
it probably would have if it would have went to the 5th round.
Yeah,
I think
he would.
Israel would have lost.
But it just goes to show you, just like football, any given Sunday, man. But any given fight, man, that man came out with that right hook, that double right hook. Oh my stars! Put him out, bro. I snapped. I
Out
was going off.
cold.
I was in here screaming like a fool, bro.
They
That's what,
probably he's probably still wondering what happened.
exactly. Exactly. Don't even believe the tape, man. That's
Now,
what they do.
yeah, exactly, man, exactly. I like Israel Sonya, and so does my son. So
Mhm.
it was awesome that we got to watch that together.
Mhm.
Yeah, he popped that chin up, and when
Yep.
that chin came up, he bow.
And I watched an analyst on that, right?
Amazing.
And they said that was perfect boxing. How
Yes.
he said he was watching them the whole time and set them up. I was just like, yo, that's incredible. To be under
Yeah.
fire and to have that, that train of thought to be able to, but that's what they train for. So, man, but let's talk
Yes.
about what he did to the guy's son though.
Oh,
That did no what he did.
you're
So
not talking about there.
yeah, so back when he was in a smaller league, his son came in the ring, right? What's the guy's name? I can't ever remember his name. But
Alex
Israel.
Pereira,
Yeah, Alex.
or
Israel.
Israel.
I know Israel, but Alex, right? So his son came in the ring after Israel. He beat Israel and stood beside him and dropped out like he got knocked out. His son, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you saw. So Israel, as petty as he is, decided to point to his son. He looked for his son in the crowd, pointed to him, and did the same exact thing. I was
The same
done.
thing.
I was done. I was like, yo, you a grown man, bro. But he said, I don't care. I'm petty. Hey,
Wow.
listen.
It is what
What's
it is,
around
man.
comes around.
It's
Yeah.
exactly, man.
So
Can't
was-
I can't knock it.
I don't know, man.
That competitive nature. Plus, it happened in a split second.
Yeah.
And I would like to think he wasn't thinking about that prior to the fight, but
Oh,
then
no,
again, maybe he was.
He was. He absolutely was. He wanted it. But the part that got me is when they paying to his son, he was crying. I was like, oh gosh, you just watch your daddy get knocked out, and then he go do this to you. Oh, man.
Aw.
Hey, no, hey, listen,
You disloyal.
you grew up, you stomp. Don't stomp with the big dogs, man. Don't come in that
That's
ring.
true.
Don't come in that ring
That's
with your.
true.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, just grow up. Come see me when you older and you ready to fight. If you want to get revenge, that's all it is.
Dang.
It's cold blooded, man.
That's deep. That's deep. That made me hearing you say that made me want to cry.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. It is what it is, man.
Yes.
Ain't no love sport.
No, not at all. Not at all. So last thing is this weekend you got the free fight UFC. The main event is Max Holloway and Arnold Allen. I don't really know Arnold too well. But Max Holloway is one of my favorite fighters. That dude is
Okay.
nasty. In my opinion, he's like, if not the best boxer in UFC, he's very close, very close.
So I'm not familiar with them. There's been a lot of turnover too, man. Those fighters go through there kind of fast now. Versus back in the older days, man, you know what I'm saying, you could stick with a fighter for several years, you were saying. But now it's the turnover so high, man. But I guess it's, such a competitive sport. Everybody wants to get in, and not everybody can handle it, I guess. I don't know. But I know that's why I'm not there. I ain't built for it. I watch. I'm a spectator. But
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'd be the first. I'd be the first competitor or non-competitor to fight to climb out of the cage.
Dang, man. Hey, I feel y'all right there with you.
I was gonna do this. I swear, I was really gonna do this. I was game for this, and then I saw that dude walk up in there.
He ain't even had to look at me like that. Why was he staring at me like that, man? Dang, that's dope. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now it's time for a classically awesome journey to Squareville with Mello.
Mello,
Yes.
What it do down in Squareville? What you
It's
got for
always
us?
going good.
Okay, all right. All right. I see you got the spectacles on today.
Yeah, I didn't put on my contacts today,
Oh man,
so
you Squareville up today. Hey, listen, I'm ready for it.
so you see me in my true form.
Mm. Mm. This more than meets the eye. My bad. I mess with you. I ain't messing with you.
All right. Well, today I wanted to talk about travel. Springtime has sprung and school will be out soon.
Mm-mm-mm.
And the unofficial start to summer is usually Memorial Day. So
That's true.
people are starting to plan their trips,
Acting a
you know,
fool on them roads.
absolutely.
Mm.
But what I wanted to touch on was like, where is the most exotic or interesting place that you have been or would like to go to? And I have a few of my own, but like with you, Maestro, like where's
Mm.
one of the nicest or just most interesting places you've been?
For me, it's gonna be the Caribbean. That was absolute fire. Absolute fire. Oh my
Yeah.
stars!
Yeah,
Like
that's on my list.
it was, and when we went, it was January, like the beginning part of January, I think. Not too long
Hmm.
after New Year's, and the
Correct.
weather down in the Caribbean was a solid 80, warm, breezy. Like we took a cruise, and I just remember sitting out on the deck of the boat, just like, yo, am I alive right now? Is this did I die and go to heaven? Like it was amazing to me. We in the water passing a volcano. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like I'm just like this is amazing to me. But just the different islands, the different culture. It
Yeah.
was just amazing. I definitely want to. That's definitely a spot I want to go back to, for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. We did the same on a cruise, and it was amazing.
Mm.
Um, that and then also the first thing that came to my mind was Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls was really cool.
I've
Been
never
there.
been there.
Nice.
Never been there.
That was
Definitely.
very
I
very
heard it was
cool.
dope. I
Yeah.
heard it was dope. Because
It is.
Bello told me. I gave up the ghost. I'm sorry. Gave up the ghost on
It's
you.
okay. It's okay. But I've been fortunate. And some of the earliest travel I've done was with school with the marching band. So every year we would go to competitions that were not usually in the state.
Mm.
So I had the opportunity to go to Disney World with the marching band, the Bahamas, and that was my first trip to Niagara Falls. And we went to Canada and Toronto.
Yo, listen.
Oh dang!
I
I didn't.
just yeah, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like so, I listen. I was in orchestra, right? So but you know what my trips were? Busch Gardens every year. They had a band over here going, you know what I'm saying, the international tourists and stuff. And I got to go to Busch Gardens every year. I was mad, bro. I was so upset. I'm sorry. That's a deep seated memory that came up. I'm gonna talk to my therapist next
You picked the wrong instrument, Maestro.
week. listen, listen. Apparently so. No, because I'm glad
Oh
I
goodness.
love classical.
Oh, absolutely.
So
But yeah, that's where, some of my earliest travel started. I was fortunate after coming out of high school. Um, I went to, of course, we went on the Caribbean cruise. We did that together with our dad, and that
absolute fire.
was
Absolute
that
fire. Yeah.
up to that point, that was like the most amazing place I had been to.
Yeah.
Um, a few years after that, I had the privilege to go to Germany,
Mm.
and the the boy's uncle, who was stationed in Spangdahlem,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the Air Force. Uh, we went to a resort in Bavaria, Germany called Edelweiss.
Mm.
So while we were at Edelweiss, we took a tour of the area, Bavaria. Um, there were Beautiful, beautiful places. One of the places we went to was New Swinestein Castle. And for those of you who don't know, that's where the Disney Castle at Disney World, and I can't remember Disneyland, but the big castle that you see,
Mm-hmm.
that's where they got the idea from,
Like
was from,
in the
mm,
backdrop, like when Disney come on,
correct.
and all the fireworks going off. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so New
Mm.
Swinestein Castle, which belonged to the King of Bavaria at the time, he was called the Mad King. He had quite a few castles and
Hey.
cottages and things, but we saw a few of the other ones, Hochen Swangau.
Mm.
Um, but we also went to Munich City, which is the capital of Bavaria. Beautiful place. It was November, so it was like right after Oktoberfest, but in
Mm.
between Christmas. So they were already decked out for Christmas. Christmas is a big thing over
Listen,
there.
I bet, and so is Oktoberfest. They gets
Yes.
busy for Oktoberfest, bro. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
yes.
they gets busy.
Oh, yes. We also had the opportunity to go to Luxembourg. We visited a castle there.
Mm.
We went to Zugspitze, which is like the highest point in Germany.
Who?
It's a mountain.
Okay.
So that's where I first tried my hand at snowboarding.
I
And that's
wish,
all I'm going to
Do
say.
tell.
I wish I
Do
had been
tell.
there.
I
Oh,
stayed on the ground more
How'd
than
that go?
anything.
I wish I would have been there. Oh my stars, I would have been acting a fool. I probably would have crashed myself laughing at you.
It was so much fun, but really it is hard. You have to really practice to get good
Mm.
to be able to stay upright.
Yeah, nah.
And we were just, going down the little kiddie hill. We didn't go on the big stuff.
Well, you know, coordination and you don't get
Don't
along
blame
too
me.
well. So I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying. You know, so a little
Were
extra.
you trying to say when she dances, she got 10 left feet?
Man, listen, she is ill coordinated. Ill coordinated.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Very.
it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
So one of the I guess my best trip, it didn't occur until several years later. That was in 2017. My husband and I had the opportunity to go to Hawaii.
Mm,
We went to Oahu, so we went to Waikiki Beach.
mm,
Um,
mm.
I
wanna
still
go-
have dreams about that
I want to go
place,
there so bad.
even now.
Listen,
The people, the food.
the women.
When
Oh my stars, they so
when
beautiful.
they say it's the island of love,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Yeah, it really is.
I heard it's like
Y-
super duper friendly. Like you
Well,
just
I don't want to go there now.
why? Because
I'm loved out. I'm all loved out. I don't want to fall in love again.
Yes, you do.
well, it might
Sorry.
just be for dang. Listen, uh, make sure you talk to your therapist about that. I'm gonna talk to mine. So
I will. I will.
But yeah, that was
Oh,
the
man.
most amazing trip. Again, I'm dying to go back, but just visit other parts, like
mm-hmm,
possibly Maui, which I hear is extremely beautiful.
mm-hmm,
The thing you have to keep in mind about Oahu, um, and Waikiki Beach, that whole area is more touristy.
right.
I want to get a chance to see more of the native
Mm-hmm,
Hawaii and
mm-hmm,
its, pristine, beautiful form. Because even where we were, we traveled to one of the ranches there. And it's where they filmed like Jurassic Park and so many like
mm.
movies. Like you could see
Wow,
parts of the set and everything there.
that's dope.
Um, Kualoa Ranch. That's what it
Okay,
was called.
okay. Hey, listen.
Beautiful,
I thought
beautiful.
I thought you was about to say Kamehameha. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought you was about to unleash, about to go Super Saiyan on us.
You're so goofy.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. But after Hawaii, 2019, we got the chance to travel to Punta Cana.
Mm.
That was beautiful. Loved it. If you don't know, Punta Cana is in the Dominican Republic.
Mm.
And the Dominican Republic, they share like a space with Haiti. So you have Haiti on one side of the island, Dominican Republic on the other. There are a lot of Haitians that worked over in the Dominican Republic because, as you know, things are really hard over in Haiti. It's just not a good situation. But met so many cool people there. And last but not least, my husband and I, just before school started in August of this last semester, we went to Niagara Falls again. It was amazing. We got to see the American side and the Canadian side. We took the little boat so you could get right by, both the falls and feel the water on you. And the time we went in August, even though it was like upstate New York, it wasn't super hot, but just the weather itself and then the water, it was just a perfect time to go.
Okay.
And it was only like a 3-day trip for us. We took the RV and drove up there. It was probably one of the best trips just because it was kind of random when we were like, hey, let's go here.
I ain't getting left. I'm not getting left behind no more. I'm not. Listen. I'm not getting left behind anymore. I'm gonna take my flex. I ain't got an RV yet. That's okay, cause I'm gonna pack some blankets and a pillow, and that's where I'm gonna sleep. And I'm I'm gonna use y'all's facilities.
There you go.
Y'all ain't leave me behind no more. Mm-mm.
But yeah, it's definitely, take the time to travel. You make amazing memories.
Yeah, that's definitely big. Something I
Definitely.
this year is gonna be. Well, it depends on finances, but my the biggest trip on my list this year is Dubai. I want to make Dubai, so I'm trying to make that happen.
I like that.
Heard it's amazing out there. It's definitely something.
Yeah.
So if I don't come back, y'all know where I'm at. That's dope though. But let's get it.
先輩あなたが一緒にいないと心が折れる
Oh yeah. It is that time. It is that time for Senpai Sanctum. Don't hate on the name again, please. I love it. All right. So for today, we're gonna talk about an anime that I just happened to come across as I was scrolling through the list on the site I was on. And it's called 86, the number 86. So I'm a visual person. So the cover art is what caught my eye. I was like, okay, that you could, animation style, things like that. So I was like, okay, let me check this out. Was I happy that I did? It's dope anime. I know I always say that about every anime I watch, but it is what it is, right? But so 86, believe it's of course it's on Crunchyroll. You can find it there. It's on some other places, but basically what it's about. The storyline is I guess you could call it dark, but it's real. It's kind of gritty. It's about the Republic of San Magnolia, and they've been at war with Gideon Empire for about 9 years. So the Gideon Empire, they have drones, basically these autonomous machines, which they call the Legion. So I guess it's a mech anime, right? So mech basically machines, people either pilot or somehow some way it revolves around that. So to combat the Legion, is what the Magnolia calls it. They created their own autonomous war machines, basically, and they call them juggernauts. So if you think about it, they kind of look like giant spiders in a sense, with a giant tank or a giant cannon on them, right? This really long cannon is it's dope actually, it really is. So they created these juggernauts, and they call them autonomous. and they're supposed to be remotely controlled by what they call a handler, right? Um, but there's a catch to it. So while the government is basically telling the people, they're broadcasting how great the war is going, and they don't have any casualties because of their autonomous juggernauts. It's all a lie because they're actually piloted by humans.
Mm.
Yeah, and the thing is they don't consider the pilots human, right? They're from the 86th district, which is supposed to be like a no name. There's like it doesn't exist, but basically it's specific for people that don't. It basically is racism in a giant, like so. Um, the main citizens of Magnolia are like silver hair, and specific color eyes, and the other people that are in the 86 are kind of everybody else that doesn't fit that, and so they basically strip their citizenship. They're less than human, kind of like that, 3/4 of a human thing from back in slavery days. But so this one particular noble, right, from the Magnolia side, her name is Lena, and she gets put in charge of a specific elite group of the Juggernauts, and basically, it's the story of how she already knows, right, because she's in the military. Military already knows what's going on, but she's different, right? She doesn't just count them as pieces of machines or numbers, right? She wants to get to know them, and she interacts with them, and she builds a bond with them, right? And the story is amazing, how that happens, and how the tide changes, and how the story plays out. Like to me, it's definitely one of the top tier anime that I've watched. So
Nice.
it's going to be. It's definitely got some gore in it. It's got some some raw scenes, nothing sexual, but just raw gritty type emotional scenes in it, right?
Mm.
So it's definitely, if you're squeamish, I wouldn't recommend it. But again, great story. Characters are great. Character development is amazing. Just the raw emotion that it captures is dope. It's dope. So, and it basically shows how bad the human race can be. Just utter scum. That's
Sure.
just what it
Yeah.
is. But we can turn on the news.
You
and
see that
it.
every day. Still now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Come on now. So
First thing I was thinking, I was like, well, that's very true.
Exactly. So, something I'm gonna start doing for y'all is I'm gonna start giving all the anime an actual score, 1 out of 10, or 0 out of 10. So Senpai's score for this one is an 8.
Mm.
It's 8. 10, obviously being the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I'll never see again. There's only a few that I've scored that, but yeah. So we're gonna go with an 8 on this one.
Nice.
So definitely check it out. It's 86, number 86. Definitely worth watching. So yeah, on to some tech stuff. Interestingly enough, and in my studies for my Security Plus, I've come across this. This is a topic. But the FBI, I believe it was last week or a week before, released a warning on this blog site about using public chargers, right? So like you go to the airport or you go to, I don't know, I don't think a bar would have it, but, maybe a bookstore or something like that. And they have these charging stations that you can use. What they're warning against is using any existing USB cable that's there. Because what they can do is they install malware on USB cables to siphon your data off your phone.
Wow.
Yes. Listen, there's no shortage of people out there trying to get your stuff.
Jeez.
But yeah, so they're recommending that you make sure to carry your own charger, brick, and USB cable if you're going to plug in to one of those chargers. it's been around for some time now. This method, but especially as travel starts to pick back up, and you just have bad people doing bad things. It's just good to be aware of it again. Um, but so they call it
That's,
juice jacking. I don't know. It's
I like the name. I like the name.
I don't
Crazy.
know. I'm on the fence about that, but juice jacking.
Jack.
That just sounds like a 1980. Let me. Okay, I ain't going there. Anyways, but so basically, yeah. So by if you plug your phone into one of these cables, automatically behind the scenes, it can start pulling down pictures, data from your phone. Can install malware on your phone, lock your phone. So again,
That's
yeah. Listen,
that's crazy to me. I didn't realize that.
hey man,
It's a good
think
thing
about
because
it.
next
Yeah.
time I go into Starbucks, I'm gonna be like, I'd have been that guy.
Yeah, right.
I'd have been calling you Maestro. You'll never believe this.
And I'm gonna tell you, they purposely leave cables in there for this reason, right?
Right.
Oh.
And it's not necessarily the establishment. It's somebody, obviously who is a malicious actor, right? So, yeah. So just keep that in mind. If you are out and about traveling, see, kind of piggybacking off of you, Mello, in your segment. See how we do? Just like that, man. Wonder Twins unite. Anyways, but no. All jokes aside, listen. Just be careful, be wary. Don't pick up again. That leads to a lot of stuff. Don't just pick up a random USB cable. If you're going to buy USB cables, know where they're coming from because there's a
Mm.
such thing as a supply chain attack, and they can be intercepted at certain places, and they can be
Oh my
turned
gosh.
into weaponized, so to speak. So it's just one of those things, man. It's the times we live in, right? It's a digital era, and there are 101 ways to, do what you want to do with it. So, but yeah, so
Wow.
just keep that in mind. Be wary and use your own stuff, man. If it came with your phone from the manufacturer, you're probably good. If it came, from the corner store down the street, might want to leave it alone. Just my thoughts. So, but
Wow.
yes. So, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So let's go with the topic. What was the best decision and the worst decision that you've ever made? Mm, This might get good. Listen, I'm not gonna give up nothing. Y'all ain't gonna know nothing about me. I ain't giving up anything.
Whatever.
I've I've been going back and forth with this. I'm still in conflict with the best decision.
Mm,
So I'm just gonna go ahead and say I got two.
okay.
One would be because I just can't let this one go, obviously, and that would be having kids.
Mm,
The decision to have kids was the best one ever because my mother used to always tell me when I was younger, you'll never, you'll think that you'll fall in love with someone, you'll meet people and so, but you'll never experience true love until you had a child of your own.
right.
And that's a
Hmm.
very true statement. Very true statement.
Yeah, that's facts.
Other other, you know, best decision or at this point good decision would be I think it would have to be going in business for myself.
Mm,
Um and I say it was the upside to it is where I am now with the business, which is I don't have to work if I don't want to, and the
mm,
money can still be generated for the company without me being there. It runs on its own. Now, granted,
Nice.
I've been fortunate because the people that work with me are outstanding. I've been truly blessed, lucky, whatever you want to call it, to have the people that are with me and part of the team.
mm. That's dope,
Um,
man.
that goes without saying. That goes without saying. When people, clients, compliment our work, I'm always, just like, it's not me.
Hmm.
It's the people that work with me. They're absolutely outstanding. Um,
Awesome.
Now
Listen,
with that being said,
I don't want
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you, but I am going to interrupt you because that's dope.
Okay.
Like, if you think about it, because you're a boss at this point, right? Like, not in the in the urban sense, but literally, right?
Right.
And you don't really see that often. as often as you should, and that's the leader giving praise to the team, and
Agreed.
in that mindset, man, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So I just want to give you kudos on that, man, because
No,
you know
I appreciate that.
I worked for enough bosses, and some have been outstanding, and then others not so much. But um, to actually give credit where credit is due, and like you said, I liked what you said, and you said no, it's not me. That's dope to me. That's
Yeah.
like I would never leave you. I would work with you.
Exactly.
Listen,
I
listen.
mean, I hope that's what that happens, but we'll see. Time will tell. I mean, again, like I said, those group of guys, it's a small company. It's just five of us, including myself. But
Mhm.
the people that I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with
Mm.
wouldn't trade them in.
That's awesome, man. That's fire. That's fire.
Uh,
You got another spot?
So
Can I do it?
uh,
Listen.
tomorrow, when you want to start?
Hey man, listen. Hey, I'll start right now.
All right, sold.
Hey, that's easy. That's easy.
Just so you know, we're shutting down half a day on Friday. So
Wow.
Say
with
less.
pay,
What?
yeah.
Hey, listen.
We'll take everybody out. We're gonna do something. So
Team building
I
exercises.
can't wait.
That's it. Listen. Say less.
You're a good boss.
Say less.
Some days,
Exactly.
no, but
Nah.
I try to be.
I don't have any skills. I didn't mention that, but I ain't got no skills. I just want to work for you. So, is that cool?
Not work for me. It's work with.
Oh,
We're a
man,
team,
listen. All
and I
right.
always do stress that. I don't just say that. We are a team.
I would
So,
be the worst team player
but
for you. I'm sorry.
well, at least you let me know prior,
Hey,
right?
listen. It's in your court now.
But with that being one of my best decisions, this would be my worst decision and only worst decision that comes to the forefront, and that would be working for myself.
Wait, I'm confused now. What?
That it, you know,
What?
it's one of those things. It's a double-edged sword. It's
Mhm.
pros and cons. It's
I
ups
get
and
it.
downs. It's
I get it.
you know same thing you love, you can hate in the same breath.
Mm,
Um,
that's real.
I say worst. I say worst decision because I strongly believe if it played a major part in my divorce.
Okay, I can dig that.
It took me from being home.
Mm-hmm.
I was never home.
I hear you.
Trying to grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, Also, it still consumes my time to this day. Even if I'm not working, so to speak, the phone's still ringing nonstop because I choose not to have a secretary. So the phone's ringing nonstop. I'll have clients call me at 10:30 at night. I've had one call me at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Um, you know, there's that, and then obviously when I go home, I'm still thinking about, all right, this needs to get done, that's got to get done, this has got to get done.
Don't stop.
You know, doesn't stop at all. So,
Mm.
and then there's the headache. If I have a company vehicle breakdown, there used to be a time where that wasn't my problem.
Yeah.
Just call, hey man, this thing won't start.
Now it's you getting that call.
I'm getting
I
that
feel you.
call.
I feel you.
Right.
So let me ask you: would you, weighing the pros and cons, right? Would you
Mhm.
still do it again?
I would say yes.
Okay.
And the reason being, in the beginning, I would have said no.
Mhm.
I would have said no.
Right, right.
But now I've got it to a comfortable place
Mm-hmm.
where, again, I don't have to work if I don't want to.
Right.
Mhm.
So, and who's going to say, hey, you got to come in?
Right. That's true.
That's the upside.
But then you're
And
also
again, I've been very fortunate. Go ahead.
you're seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, just starting out, like you got to learn a lot. You got to learn as you go.
True.
So now it's a lot more kind of status quo, I guess, for lack of a better term, right? You just you do what you do now, you know, because
Right.
you've been doing it. So I guess that helps.
And the money, yeah, and the money's always been different, from this side to when I was an employee.
Right.
But when it comes to judging success, I would like to say, in my opinion, success is again when you don't have to work and you're still
Mm-hmm.
being able to get paid. But then I still loop that back to the simple fact that the reason why I'm able to do that is because of the 4 individuals that I have working with me that I don't have to hold hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Goes a long ways, man.
They do a better job. They do it when it comes to what we do. They do a lot better job than I did.
Mm. That's
Wow.
dope, man. That's dope.
Anyways, that's what I got.
I feel you. I feel you. Mm. Mellow. What you got? I said
Well,
I'm not giving up the ghost, so it's on y'all.
you
I'm
give
just
up the
playing. I'm just
ghost.
playing, my bad.
So I had to think about it for a little bit, and I don't think that there was a singular like category. There was like 3 categories, and I broke it down into career, school, and personal.
Mm.
And I'll tell you the best and worst. It's really simple. Career-wise, at one time, my worst decision was staying at a job that I could not stand.
Mm.
I had opportunities to take a step out, but I was comfortable and I guess complacent at that point.
Gotta get you every time.
And I just stuck in there. It fortunately ended positively because that department moved and, they had to get rid of us.
Mm.
We got, a stipend for however long we had been there, our tenure.
Mm-hmm.
My best decision was once I got out of that predicament and was looking for a new career opportunity, I decided to go not with a company, but with an organization. And it wasn't, I was going to be making a lot less, but I was like, I want to like what I do. I want to actually get up and not despise
Mm-hmm.
going into work.
Mm-hmm.
I took that chance because I was given 2 opportunities, one making right around where I left off, and one making, it was like $6 less. So I was like, you know what?
The struggle is
Money
real.
will come.
That's right.
Money will come. But if I like what I'm doing, I'm gonna put more effort and, really, get into it and work my way up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my last employer, and I loved it. So in 3 years' time, by the time I left that organization, I was making more than I had been at the original
Oh wow,
employer.
that's a
So it
good.
goes to show you, sometimes you have to take a chance,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's uncomfortable, and see what's out there. You may be
Mm-hmm.
pleasantly surprised.
That's facts, man. That's facts. I can attest to
Second,
that. Oh dang, my bad. I'm about to.
oh,
I was getting ready to get. Listen, I was in a giving
you're gonna
mood
give
just
it
now.
up?
Listen, I was in a giving mood, but you go ahead.
No,
No,
if
I'm
you
I'm I'm good now. Mm-mm.
you gonna give up that goes.
Hey, nah, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
For school, I regret that I didn't push myself when I had first started. True, I had my boys while I was in school, but I just didn't take the time to really, go back
Mm-hmm.
and put the effort into just getting it over with.
Right.
Um, Last semester, I started back full time, had the time, and I'm like, I just got to do it. And I'm going to do something that I want to do, not what's going to make money.
Right.
Because again, money will come, but if you enjoy what you're doing, it's going to seem less like a job.
Mm.
And that's an added benefit that no amount of money can buy, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed.
I second. I
Mm.
second that motion. Because I've
And
been in that
then
situation. You
mhm,
just you despise
everybody,
just despise getting up because you hate with every fiber in your being, which you have to get up and do. That's the worst feeling ever.
I think everybody's had that experience at some time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you really have to go with what you love because it will pay off. It may take a little bit longer, but
Mm-hmm.
once you get there, all of it is just worth it.
It's worth it. I feel you.
And lastly, really quick, personally. Now, we've all made good and bad relationship decisions. I think my worst was just a couple of different times staying in relationships that were going nowhere. Oh, they'll change, things will get better.
Everybody is guilty of that. Oh, my stars. Listen, we all are guilty of that.
Yeah, and it's like you see the signs, but it's like, oh, but it'll be different. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
I could have sworn that was my Angelo. Man, you over there quoting that like that's yours, man.
No, I'm quoting her because like I've lived by that ever since I heard it.
That's
And
factual.
it
Hey, listen.
and it's so much truth because
Absolutely.
people will show you who they are and you're like, "Oh, they're just whatever." And you ignore it
I don't know if
and
it's
keep going on.
a lot of it. I think is a hope, right? Because you, especially, you're in love with this person, right? You cared about this person. You care for, for their being. So, you just hope that things will change. You just hope that it'll get better, and you just keep pushing on and pushing on. So, sometimes it's hard to see the red flags. Sometimes it's hard to see where the relationship is gone, you know, until you've truly had enough, till you're expended, It's just so it's tough, man. It can be tough.
Yeah. So I would say the best decision personally was waiting till I was in my 30s to get married. I had opportunities. I had
Mm.
been proposed to, but I was like, no.
Mm.
And I tell you that because it gave me a chance to get life experience, to see people in a general sense, kind of what you want, what you don't want,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and help me to be okay with me. Because you have to be right with yourself before you can even think about bringing somebody else into that fold.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about, oh, I could lose a little bit of this or that, but really know what your worth is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that's going to give that to you.
That's true.
So I would say I was able to find myself and it was everything worked out
Well, that's good.
because I was good with me.
You go, man. Listen, you need to go preach to, not preach, but speak to some of these the younger generations, man, because they struggling out there.
They
But
are.
I guess it ain't no different than our generation. We had to learn by hard knocks.
Right.
One thing I definitely agree with though is, and one thing that my pastor um, had preached before, and that is when you're looking to, you have to be complete. You should be complete before you get into a relationship because it should be you're completed by God, right?
Mhm.
And you're not looking for completion in somebody else because if you do
Correct.
and something happens, now you're broken.
Exactly.
So, if you're out there, you're looking for love, this, that, and the third, and that's why, some of the terms like soulmate and, my other half, listen, you have to be careful with that, right? Because you truly start to believe that. And I'm not knocking anybody, right? I'm not knocking anybody out there who says that. But I'm just saying, like, no, like you said, know who you are. Be complete.
Mm.
Be sure of yourself. Because if you're not and you rely on somebody else, man, it's many things that can happen. If unfortunately you lose that person,
Right.
what happens to you? You know, if if that person decides that they're no longer in love or they want to use that love against you, right?
Mhm.
It's a lot of things that can happen, man. So you know, be complete before you go looking, and then that relationship is going to blossom and be what you want it to be. So
Absolutely.
I definitely say that. Lessons learned. Listen, got to go through it to understand it. Because if you don't, there's only two ways to learn in this world. You either learn by listening or learn by doing. So, and most of us learn by doing because we don't like to listen. Anyways, you know, I don't. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know that I have. I don't know that I will. I will say that any of my decisions were the worst because I truly, and that's that's just this is solely for me. But I feel everything has shaped me to be who I am today, good, bad, indifferent. There are definitely some decisions I should have made that would have benefited me greater, right? Change the outcome of certain things, but everything's a lesson to me that I go through in life. So I think it's important, right? And again, it helps shape the person you are. So and I'm happy with
Good.
myself, So um, I will say one of the best decisions I did make for myself is I was in a scenario where you were, right, with the job. I had taken a promotion out of state. Goodness knows why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolute. Listen, I can't tell y'all the state I was in. It was just rough, man. Like it was just nonstop working, working, working. I was in a foreign place, didn't have anybody, and I've never moved out of state in my life, right? I grew up around family. Some people, they get down with that stuff, just not me. And it was just a really tough time for me, and I absolutely hated what I did. Um, so it's just a really, really hard time for me. But I would always tell myself, listen, if I make it through this, I'll make it through anything, right? That's really
Yeah.
what it was. So I did my time. I got out, got out scot free too. Lord have mercy. But and I decided to go back to school,
Mhm.
and I went back to school for IT. Best decision
Yep.
I've ever made.
There you
I've
go.
always been into it, right? Even as a little kid. My Commodore 64. No, I done told my age. Don't listen. For y'all that don't know what it is, it's old. But that was like one of the first computers out.
Yes.
Like. But I used to love it. Played my little racing games on there and everything on 5 and a quarter inch floppy disks.
not not the floppy disk.
I know.
Oh,
And the fact that you know what that
take
is
me back.
means you right there with me.
I saw it. I saw it one time on antique
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
and
On your
yeah,
kitchen
I saw
table?
it on YouTube.
On your kitchen table? Listen, you right there with me, bro.
I don't have a
That.
kitchen.
Oh man, I'm sorry. You did back
Mhm.
then. But yeah, man. So
Oh,
it's always something I've been into, and I decided that listen, after this experience that I just had, I want to get up and I want to enjoy what I do, and that's what I
Exactly.
did, man. Like it took me some time. It was a transition. I was out of work for a year, struggling,
Mhm.
right, trying to get. The problem with IT is, especially if you're fresh out, everybody wants to experience people, but nobody's willing to give you that experience, right?
Yeah.
So I struggled
right.
trying to find a job. Oh, you don't have experience in this. You don't have experience in that. Yes, I know that, but just give me a chance to learn, and I'm gonna learn it. That's no question. I just need the opportunity, right?
Mhm.
And so it was a year. I was struggling for a good year, man. Just out of work. Luckily, I had some money saved up. But once that ran out, struggling. But I made it. Shout out to J Dub. I ain't gonna put his full government out there, but he's the one that gave me a chance, and I'm still with the company now. Gave me a chance when nobody else would, so I will always be appreciative to him for that, man. And
Awesome.
one of the coolest dudes I know to this day, man. This real cool dude, man. And I'm no longer on his team, but listen, I go stop by there every time I can, just to speak and say hi, man, because it really was, man. It was an opportunity that that's all I needed, man. Got my foot in the door, and that was it. So
Awesome.
That's awesome.
yeah, man. So it's worth taking a chance. It really is. Listen, If
Really.
you're unhappy with, you know, you don't like you, especially if you at that point to where you hate getting up in the morning, like, you know, it causes you stress to, you know, and you know, changes your mood. Like, it's time to go, man. It's time to find something else, man. It's so much better
Mhm.
out there, right? Even if you don't know exactly what it is, try something else. I know bills and everything, you know, they come, but listen, that money's gonna come to you. It's gonna come to you,
True.
but you know what's not gonna come is the relief if you stuck where you at, and it's just gonna get worse from there.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, man,
Well,
that's it.
that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining. Make sure you follow the Humpin' It podcast on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and also Spotify. And yes, next time you're humping it, think of us. Get your mind out the gutter. Love you guys. 2 fingers.
Peace.
Peace.